Hey, all you Gretas and Shutezcats out there. Welcome to Unit 5, Section 4, Impact of Agricultural Practices Notes. So here we go. Plow and till is when you turn the soil upside down and you're going to push down the old crop stuff. It'll kill weeds and insects by doing it this way. It massively increases erosion by loosening up the soil. So if it's super windy or it rains afterwards, all that nice topsoil is gone. It exposes organic matter to oxygen, which is actually going to increase CO2 in the atmosphere from that oxidation process. So tilling is going to actually increase the CO2 in the air. It also leads to soil degradation along with irrigation and overproduction. So maybe not the best way to do farming. There's a video I will post on Canvas. And then we have, let's move me up here, slash and burn. Also not the best way. Cut down trees and vegetations, you burn it. Resulting ash will provide some nutrients to the soil. If you have a nutrient-poor soil and a warm climate, you tend to be in the rainforest. This is not sustainable. When you slash and burn in the rainforest, you get 2-3 years max before the soil is dead and you have to start over. Once again, we're releasing both methane and CO2. It leads to a lot of erosion, a loss of topsoil that holds the roots, and it's a positive feedback loop. So you have your slash and burn, you have your loss of nutrients, you're going to have erosion. That means fewer plants. That means more nutrients are lost, more erosion, and on and on and on. Irrigation can lead to salinization. So in water used for irrigation, there are small levels of salts in the water, which in a small amount is no big deal. But if you only use irrigation water to water your crops, that salt is going to add up, and plants do not do well in salty soil. So that will lead to desertification, which means the land is rendered completely unproductive, and you need to kind of start over and remediate that soil, and it takes years to get it proper again. The Sahara is expanding at a rate of up to 30 miles a year, guys. That's insane. So you can see all the desert areas and the areas that are vulnerable to desertification. Can you imagine explaining to your kids how this part of the United States used to grow food but doesn't anymore because we used up all the stuff? There is an article I would highly recommend. The link is in your packet online, talking about the Amazon rainforest. Now we get to fertilizers. So move me back down. We'll move me here. So large amounts required to replace the lost organic matter and nutrients, mostly nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And you'll see NPK on a lot of fertilizers, or you'll see these numbers which reference nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Organic is usually compost, poop from the animals, whatever you've got, but it's all that natural stuff that gets broken down, much more natural and much better, because I will show you now. So in synthetic or inorganic fertilizers, which is what like every farm everywhere uses, you use the combustion of natural gas to fix and capture the atmospheric nitrogen, which is then put into the synthetic fertilizers, and they directly feed the plants. So it goes in plant nutrients into the plants. Organic fertilizers feed the soil. So you have this organic matter that goes into the soil nutrients, helps feed and create more microorganisms, and these guys are making the plant nutrients that then go into the plant. So here, you're not making the soil any better, and here you're making the soil and the plant better. But this is going to allow for better plants in the future, as opposed to this, where they're sucking all the nutrients out, and there's nothing here to make more. So very sustainable, very unsustainable. Benefits of those inorganic fertilizers. They're easily applied and absorbed. The content can be adjusted and targeted for different crops or soils. You can buy soil testing kits so you know exactly what you have of each. And without synthetic fertilizers, we could not feed the world. However, maybe if we never made in synthetic fertilizers, we would have a much lower human population right now. So, kind of crazy. Drawbacks, because there's some. A lot of fossil fuel energy is going into this. Much of it can be carried by runoff to groundwater and waterways, causing those algal blooms, which are bad. And then we're not adding any organic matter, which that organic matter would help raise the CEC levels and water retention ability. So once again, we're not making the soil any better. We're just doing kind of a band-aid to the plants to get them grown and get them out of there. So nice quick unit. You've already survived the notes. Before I go, I want to let each and every one of you know you are good enough, you are smart enough, and people do like you. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good God, do your homework.